Say, bruh, it's the podcast.
Say, bruh.
What's up? It's Hot Boy Troy. We got C.U.D.I.E, and this is the Say Bruh Podcast, episode 17.
Yes, sir.
And today, man, we have let's see how can I put it,
Got a special guest, man.
a real special guest that makes sure our tummies are full and mega-sized plates of barbecue in the house.
And it's one of them places that you can just find at a gas station, and it's like, I mean, you already know how the spots are.
My mouth watering just thinking about that bacon wrap lollipop. We got Anthony from Mega Texas in the house. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing? Thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, it's almost that time that you guys have something special coming along. So I was like, we got to have Mega Texas on the Say Bruh podcast.
Oh yeah. We're having our 1 year anniversary. We're throwing ourselves a party. You know, in the food industry, a year is like a lifetime. You know,
That's huge because
really
you guys going day by day. Like you guys is out there grinding.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's a lot of work. But you know, that first year is a big milestone, and we just said, you know, we got through it. Let's go all this and throw us over a party, and luckily at the people at Tioga all were happy to have us over there, so it's gonna be a big thing.
How's that, man? Shout out Tioga.
Speaking of Tioga, we cheersing right now. Shout out to
Yeah.
Tioga.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Actually, let's cheers and say congrats to 1 year.
Congrats
Oh
on
hey,
1 year.
thank you so much. Thank you. You know, like I said, a lot of work. I couldn't do it by myself. You know, of course, my wife works with me. My mom and my dad help right now. You know, all my family members support when we ever have events. We definitely appreciate all of them.
Yeah, man. So for those that don't know about Mega Texas, let's give them a little rundown on who Mega Texas is and where do you guys cook out of, and the pop-ups that you guys do.
Okay.
And
yeah.
even how it came about, you know.
So the name of our spot is Mega Texas Barbeque. We're actually located in the Arco gas station on the corner of Fresno McKinley. That's 2429 East McKinley Avenue.
Yep.
I started barbecuing. Actually, Mega Texas actually started about 5 years ago, and what I did, I started selling like barbecue plates.
Okay.
I used to sell them through Facebook and stuff. You know,
Gotcha.
I'd post a plate and people would place an order. And at the time,
You would just deliver them?
I would deliver.
This is before DoorDash and all
Before
that?
DoorDash. And
When you mention stuff like that, that's how they do in New Orleans. They have the suppers and
You just place an order and someone brings it to your door?
Yeah, so if they know they got 20 orders coming to your location, your barbershop or wherever, that's
man,
how it is. Get your grind on.
That's
Oh, yeah.
slanging that legal dope.
right, yeah, you're right. It's actually it was completely underground. You know, at first when I would post, I saw other people doing it, and I thought, well, you know, my barbecue's pretty good, and maybe I could do something. Mine looks better than some of these things I see. So, you know, at the time it was like it was like a $10
do
plate.
that?
Yeah, and it was $10 plate, and it was just ribs, and at the time I was making a chicken lollipop.
Dang.
And so people were hitting me up. It wasn't a whole lot of orders. At first I would get like 12 orders. And
But that's some cool pocket change for a day.
yeah, you know, just like, you know, side gig kind of deal. And I would sell like maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. And next thing you know, people were messaging me, man, when are you going to do those plates again?
Yeah.
And Facebook kind of changed the format.
Yeah,
so,
the algorithms.
Yeah, so I kind of stopped doing Facebook, and I had an Instagram account, and that's basically where I would post like all my barbecue pictures.
Crack the code.
Right. So
Shout out Instagram.
yeah, for sure. So once I was posting on both, and just Instagram started taking off. People started following me, and I started getting a lot more orders on Instagram. So that became my focus.
I think also because it's your picture. Instagram is like based off of like
It's more
pictures and-
imagery rather
Yeah.
than text and people reading all that. You don't have to do as much description. It's just
Right, you know, you got that immediate impression, you know, and so when I used to post, I would post like pictures like of whole slabs of ribs or like a whole tri-tip or like me, like the barbecue grill. And one day I just posted a picture of a plate, and I
Put
got
it right,
more.
posted right before lunchtime.
I posted like usually I posted like 2 days before, and I would take
Gotcha.
order for 2 days. And when I posted that picture of the plate, it got like more likes than anything I had posted. And so when I'm like, wow, that worked pretty good. I'm gonna do it again. So I posted another picture of a plate, and I would got more orders. And so I'm like, man, I need to get a better cell phone. I was just taking pictures with my cell phone, So I started taking better pictures, and the more I posted, the more people would order, and it went from those initial 6 plates a time to, I think the last couple times I did it, I was selling like 60 plates
Yikes.
in a day. People they would order for their whole business, like 12
you would
plates.
just cater to them.
Yeah. Well, I would do all of them at once.
Okay.
So, and I would deliver, and through that whole time, I was like keeping track on my Google Maps. So if you look at my Google Maps, it was I had stars for every place I delivered and every place I catered to, and like the entire Fresno was covered, plus like all the outlining. So I mean, I delivered to Selma, I would deliver to Fowler, I would deliver to Madera. I do catering jobs, so it just kept growing and growing. And at the time, my wife had just left work at Walmart. I was gonna I hadn't worked for a while. I was actually great. I was off, so that was what became my main thing, was just cooking barbecue.
Yeah.
And we end up we were gonna. She goes, "What are we gonna do?" I said, "Man, this barbecue's people really liking it. Let's do this." And one of my customers actually messaged me. He's like, "Hey, my dad has this spot in a gas station. There's a kitchen. I've had your food. It's amazing. I really think you could sell your barbecue out of there." And I said, I'm not sure. Well, at the time we were going to go on vacation, and we were actually going to drive all the way across to New York. And so one of the things that we did as we went across, we hit all these barbecue places, And
So y'all was scouting. Y'all was trying to figure out.
it's like in my head, I've always watched them on TV, and I'm like, I got to go try these places.
Yeah.
I want to see, I want to see what really good barbecue is.
Yeah.
And there was some that we were really impressed with, and there was some that's like, man,
You can do better than this.
yeah, I mean,
Or like even like I think my stuff can compete, or even like
Yeah.
being in the same.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Stand
category.
next to these other
right.
ones.
I feel confident. It just made me feel more confident about what I was doing. I'm like, I felt good about it, but not until when you actually can go try some of the elite, big name people stuff, then you say, man, can I really do this? Is it really a viable option of income? Can I make money doing this?
Yeah.
And it really just, like I said, it just took off from there. I grew up barbecuing, but I never thought that I would end up,
Opening
doing
shop.
as a living. Like I said, it was just something that our family did. We used to cook out like 3 or 4 nights out a week. It was hot, no AC, so we cooked outside. We used to cook whole chickens. And I grew up doing all that kind of stuff, and suddenly here I am, when it was something that started out as fun, and now it's something that people actually want it because
Now you have people out lining up outside.
right.
This lines be people don't understand. Like, so hold on, I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit. You guys did an event at Tioga. It was with Fresno Street Eats. It was a bacon themed Fresno Street Eats. I don't know if you went, Cuddy.
Probably not.
But I was fortunate enough to go. If you didn't go to that bacon Street Eats,
was this before you took us out to, or we went out to the spot?
yes, this was right before we went to the spot.
Yeah, I didn't make it out.
But you guys were one of the vendors at Tioga for Fresno Street Eats. Excuse me. It's the good beer. But anyway, so we go. Actually, it was just me. I was like, all right, I'm going to get something to eat after I get off of work and go home and chill. Went there and I seen the post or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try this chicken lollipop, this bacon wrap lollipop. And I was like, man, that was good. And then I remember Ray saying that they had the bacon wrap rib.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me go back. I double back. Let me get that.
So this was a week before we went, right? Because I remember.
Yes.
So at work, they were talking about it. Troy and Ray were talking about it, and Sam, myself, Ray, and Troy. We ended up driving out to
Mobbed out.
McKinley.
Right.
And
This was maybe about 11-ish.
yeah, well, like we just try to get there before lunch. We show up, the line's out the door already.
I was even illegally parked.
This guy parked in the handicap section, left the car on, and
Yeah.
but yeah, like it was definitely worth the wait.
You would have thought like somebody was giving out a pair of J's or something for free. Like, how long the line was, like I don't think like people really understand. And you guys were selling out. I don't even know if it was an hour max, but y'all was selling out so fast.
Yeah,
I was just amazed.
By the time we made it to the front of the to place our order, there was already items.
There was a few items crossed out.
This is gone, and so that was my first time trying, and it was definitely worth the wait. And after that, like whenever you guys make it out to a pop up or one of the events, like we have to be out there. And,
Oh yeah, so the way that happened, all that line and stuff. So when I was out delivering barbecue,
yeah,
I'd made this one delivery. It was way out in Clovis, and the guy ended up messaging me. He's like, "Hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm a writer for the Fresno Bee." He says, I'm from Texas." He goes, "Man," he goes, that's some really amazing food you have." He goes, "I would like to write a story about you."
was he just trying to shout you out because you have the Texas on the name?
You know what? I'm not sure. I think he had to try it first because he had been. He said he had been following me for a while. He was hesitant to try.
Yeah.
And everything looked so good. So it's actually his name is BJ Antiola.
What up? What up, BJ?
Yes.
We familiar with BJ. Well, I'm familiar with BJ.
Yeah. So he's like, let me
Shut your up.
let me write a story about you. And I said,
John.
at the time, I wasn't legit. I said, I'm not really at the point where it would do me good because I'm probably going to get shut down.
Yeah, you're not trying to get you shut down.
Right. So I said, I'm working on this.
See the way my paperwork set up.
Yeah.
You just gotta.
Yeah. So I said, I'm working on getting legitimate right now. I said, we're probably going to go into a food truck. I said, can I let you know? And then I go, that would be great if you write a story right when we open because then it'll draw attention and get business. So he said, yeah. So this was like in May of 2018. Fast forward, we do take that trip. We come back. We opened October 13th, 2018. We weren't sure. We did a grand opening in there. I had a whole bunch of followers on Instagram. I'm like, hopefully people show up. Yeah. We made food for like 100 and 120 people, and we sold out in like an hour and a half.
Damn.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. My wife's like, oh my God, how do we
Jackpot.
So that was the first day we sold out. Well, we kind of weren't really sure what to expect, so we pulled back. I think we made a little bit less food, like maybe for like 60 people, and we started selling out. People who hadn't come the first day ended up coming back, and I ended up messaging BJ, and he says, "Well, I can't do a story right now. It's probably going to be in December." The story in December ended up getting pushed back to January. So he did an interview, came in and shot some video, and they ended up posting. He called me. He messaged me like at 2 a.m. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know we just dropped a video. We dropped a story. It's gonna come out in the paper today. You're probably gonna be pretty busy. It's on our Facebook." I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?"
Did you feel the pressure?
Yes, definitely, because I'm like, I'm not gonna have enough food, right? I said, well, I'm just gonna cook. Luckily I had the next day of tri-tips, so I said I'm just gonna cook whatever I have. And I think at that time I was making maybe 10 tri-tip. I think I was cooking something like 9 racks of ribs. It wasn't a whole lot, but we sold out in 2 hours, and there was still people coming after we sold out. So the next day we said, well, let's make more. So we decided to make like an extra 50% more, and we ended up selling out that next day. That Thursday we sold out again, and people were just calling and messaging. I kept getting new likes on Instagram, new follows on Facebook. Our Yelp, we had a Yelp page that we had created like 4 years ago. Yeah. And all of a sudden,
finally started catching up.
Oh, that news, the video that went along with the story, I think it ended up having like 200,000 views.
Wow.
But people were sharing it over and over and over, and they were
awesome.
Talking about it. And so, it was kind of, I guess people were looking for something like that. So we had people just coming in, and by the third day, that Friday, I made as much food as I could make. I mean, as much I could fit on the smoker,
Right.
and we still sold out. We still sold out. Actually, we got to a point where we were turning people away. We had to cut the line off.
Yeah.
Because there was not going to be any more food. You know,
no point in having them out there waiting.
Oh yeah. I mean, we would cut 20, 30 people off of the line, and like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You know, and we were just like how you said, once we run out of something, we cross it off. So, and, you know, when you get down to the end, we're out of ribs, or we run out of brisket, and you know, that's generally the way they do in Texas style. You know, but people weren't doing that here, and I remember telling people telling me, said, you can't run out. You're not that's not going to work. But that's really the style of
and I mean
and it makes the demand more.
It makes the demand a little more, and I mean, shoot, like we all know, you want what you can't have, so you're gonna come back.
Right, and for us, it's more about quality over the quantity. You know, if I could feed more people and make sure it's still going to be good, I would. But for me, I want to make sure that what you're getting is good. It's worth it. You know, like, especially if at that time, I mean, we had probably 50 people in line in the gas station, and people were waiting for 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours in the gas station for food. And it's like, I never heard of it. Actually, we ended up getting another it's an internet TV show called Localish.
Okay.
And they came in. He said, some people told me, my producers told me, I need to come check you out. He goes, I've never seen anything like this before. He goes, and I do an episode called Worth the Wait. Mm-hmm. And so he said, I want to write a story. He goes, I'm going to come back. He goes, can you talk? I said, I can't talk right now. I got a line of people.
You got to take care of the business.
Yeah. You could you could wait in line like your show says, worth the wait.
Right. And so he actually ended up coming back, and I couldn't talk again. So he said he waited, and he goes, I'm going to come back when you're done, when you run out. So we'll probably run out around 2 o'clock or so. So he came back, and he's doing an interview. And as he's interviewing me, there's people walking up. They're like, do you have any more? Oh, man. He's like, how many times does it happen? I said, we got to turn like 20, 30 people away some days.
It's like you're selling crack over here.
Right. And it was, for me, it's like, I mean, how do you ever expect that? How do you ever expect, you open a spot, and within the first 6 months, you have a line that's, like how you said, out the door. Yeah. People and so that first event that we did was that Fresno Street Eats. Shout out to Mike Oz, the whole, Tony Heredia, the whole Street Eats team, TZ Radio, we actually saw it, and we saw the bacon, and I'm like, I got these bacon wrapped lollipops. We got to do it. So we messaged Mike Oz, said, hey, is there any chance that we could do it? And he's like, well, it's booked. It's already booked. We have enough people. Yeah. And I'm like, man, me and my wife are like, man, we really wish we could do that.
Make it way in there.
And he ended up messaging us like the week of, and said, hey, you guys still interested in doing this? I said, yes, of course, yes. Yeah. So, I'm always cooking stuff, and sometimes I take a recipe and I put it in that's in my back pocket. I'm saving this for the right time.
Yeah, a certain time.
And so he knew about the chicken lollipops, but he didn't know about the bacon wrapped ribs. And so I said, this is the time. And so I pulled them out. And
you're like, voila.
When they saw those bacon wrapped ribs, I don't think people could believe that. I never heard anything like that before, And I knew I'd done it before. I knew it could work. And I mean, they're pretty awesome. I mean,
they definitely are awesome. That was definitely the secret gem of Fresno Street Eats.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we got there, we were setting up, and there's a bunch of people standing in front of we just did a pop-up tent, and we're like wondering, what are these people
they were
here
waiting
for?
on the
and they were there for us. So the line that we had inside the restaurant or in the gas station, it translated to here. And so there was like 20 people there before, and once that event started, I mean, we're pretty efficient as far as doing those type of events. And so, we were just, once they order, and I think I made enough for 200 people, probably 200 servings of ribs and chicken lollipops between the both, and we sold out in an hour. We were everything we thought we were going to sell in the entire night was gone in an hour.
And I was there I was there.
So this guy took he took enough for 3 people.
That's not true.
Nah,
I did
but
have a lot though.
I feel like that just to shout out Fresno Street Eats, Tony H, Mike Austin, everyone that plays a part in that, even Tioga. I feel like they do like a dope. They do a good job on promoting it.
Oh yeah,
Promoting
it. The imagery, the flyers and everything that they do and promotes like the items that are gonna be sold out there. Like it pumps you up. So you already know what you're gonna order by the time you get there. Like you know where you're gonna go to and what item you're gonna get.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if for us,
shout them out, man. They do a good job.
Yes, definitely appreciation for Mike Haas and Tony Herrera. You know, they really put us on. You know, I mean, it was because, you know, the people who don't follow Instagram or Facebook, you know, these were different people who were coming to try our food, who maybe would have never went into a gas station.
I feel like it's a whole different crowd. Like, I mean, you'll have the same people that'll go out around town and try food, but it's a whole little community of the downtown people, or people that just come out downtown and they know if it's the Taco Brews and Jams, or if it's Fresno Street Eats, you know that there's gonna be good food, and even if you don't know who's gonna be there, like we're gonna go have dinner out there and
yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's a great opportunity for, especially like a small business like us, you know, to basically be put on a pedestal, put on a platform where people who might not normally try your food, then they're gonna say, oh, well, I'm gonna follow this person. Now I tried it, and now I want to. And I know we actually caught a lot of negative feedback that first day because people were upset. They're like, we sold out. They sold in an hour. Yeah. They're not ready for this type of stuff. And I remember Mike Oz actually specifically saying, you know, you guys have to understand, they had a line before the event even started. Yeah. Said, and people came specific for that. He says, he goes, be prepared. He said, these guys are about to take this city by storm. Yeah. And to me, that was, for Mike Oz to say something like that about us, it was a huge compliment. And I think the people paid notice. Yeah. You know, Mike Oz is somebody who's, you know, of course, you know, Taco Truck Throwdown, you know, all the events that they do downtown. You know, he's a big supporter of the downtown Fresno. I think when Mike Oz says something, people definitely respond to that.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like people gotta get, they gotta learn how to, like, accept or just get used to the way of it being, to where things are gonna run out. Like I mean, you have people lined up, and I feel like people are adjusting nowadays to that form. Like now with the collab you guys did with Premio, like there was people before 5, like there was already a long line. So now it's
bound to happen.
So yeah, and I feel like, I mean, in the beginning, like you're not used to that because you go to Taco Truck and they're feeding people all night, but like this is different, you know. And now you know, like if you want to be there early and know what you're gonna order, and you know, then get your food and then go enjoy the event.
So basically, what we're saying is, for the event,
don't slack.
Get there early, because trust me, I'll be there early, making sure I get all my collabs and my giant plate for sure.
So what is the party gonna consist of?
So
are you guys cooking up food? Are you guys gonna have different vendors and just collab with?
Yeah. So the name of the event is called Mega Texas Everything.
Mega Texas Everything.
The biggest complaint about people with us is the line, is having to wait. Which in the store, the line is not near what it used to be. I mean, we always have a line every morning, but generally within the first half an hour, 45 minutes, it gets reasonable, and you can come in. You wait 10, 15 minutes, and you can get your food. I mean, there's always people coming in right behind each other.
So they still have that steady base.
Yes. It's still, we're still selling close to the same amount of food. I max out every Friday. Fridays are always the busiest. I max out every Friday.
Payday.
Yeah, but you know, it's just not a 2-hour wait like it was. You know, because everybody was coming at 11. So now it's spread out throughout the day. People come. We have an 11 o'clock rush, then we have a 12 o'clock rush, and usually the rush will last until it'll start getting short, the line. And For a while there, we would even do short line updates. We update everything on our Instagram. If there's a short line, we let you know. If we're able to, we'll take your order ahead of, just shoot us a message. We'll tell you what we got, and we'll make your plate right there. And if you're going to come in within the next 10, 15 minutes, you can just walk right up, pick it up.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, definitely. we do. I say I'm not in the business of disappointing. I want to try to make as many people happy as possible. If I can do something extra to make you come in, because what was happening is I was getting people all around town saying, I want to come back, but I can't wait in line. I can't wait in line. And so it kind of died out to where we didn't have one past 11:30. There was either one or two people or not a line at all. Yeah. So we thought, well, how can we adjust? I worked for Walmart for 12 years, and my wife worked for Walmart for 20 years. When you work for a big company like that, especially Walmart, you constantly have to make adjustments. They're looking at trends, they're looking at what's going on, and they're making adjustments to provide better service or to sell more merchandise, whatever the deal is. And so that's one thing that we learned through there is to be adaptable. And so having all that experience, we adapt. We adapt to what we are going to do. We adjust what we're going to cook. Generally, my goal is to run out of everything at the same time, because I don't want you to come and say, oh, well, they ran out of brisket again. So if I can make more brisket, and so it runs out the same time as the lollipops, so sometimes you come in, some person will get one plate, and I'll run out of 4 meats at the same time because I had the same thing. And generally, it's not the same thing. Some days it's brisket, some days it's ribs, some days, depending on what people are hungry for.
Right.
But we do that kind of stuff, so that way, when you come in, you're not, oh, I don't want to go in because they might not have ribs. So I try to make it so everything runs out pretty close or as close to the same time as possible, and that's what gets people coming in later, and it can keep people coming in. And then of course we do like whenever we do those type of events, that's when we do like the specials, like the bacon wrapped ribs. We only did that for Fresno Streeties for a while. And then people kept messing me.
So
when
you
are you
keep
gonna
it in the menu.
You gotta add that to the menu.
Yeah. So we actually had it for like 2 weeks, and then people kind of started. People who wanted to try it kind of did. So we took it off. This week is Halloween, so we're actually doing a special tri-tip. It's a seasoning that it's made with charcoal, so it's black. Okay. And so we're gonna call it Dark Knight Tri-Tip.
Dark Knight
Tri-Tip. I just saw the movie The Joker.
The Troy.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, Yeah. And so I got this Batman mask. I said I might just throw that on during service, and we serve Dark Knight Tri-Tip, and it's literally black on the outside, and it's still cooked the same way.
It's still good. So
Trip. No, I did it last year for Halloween, and people came in and they sold. That was actually the first thing that sold out. So this year we're gonna do it all week.
That's dope, man. And you guys went from the lollipop to the bacon wrap ribs. Now I see you got a big old can of beer over here.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
up with that? Now you guys doing beers now?
So we don't actually do beer, but when we asked about doing this anniversary party at Tioga, we said, of course we don't have a big spot to have a party, but maybe we talked to Tioga. So we talked to Will and to my crew. They said, hey, is there a possibility that we could throw a birthday party here? And they said, yeah, for sure. So we just got to work out a date. We got to make sure we don't have anything going on. Yeah. Well, our anniversary is October 13th. It fell on the last weekend of the fair.
Big Fresno fair.
Oh, yeah. So, you kind of in Fresno, you don't want to compete with the last weekend of the fair because all the people who said they weren't going to go end up going that last weekend. Yeah, for sure. So we said, let's push it back a couple of weeks and let's find a day. So it ended up being November 2nd. And we said, we told them the idea. They said, we want to do collaborations with some other food trucks. We want to do we kind of want to have like a little bit of Mega Texas everywhere. So like I was saying, the biggest complaint people have is about our line. So we said what we could do is if we do collaborations, we'll take the meat that we make and give it to them, and that way
through the different
So no matter where you go, you can get a little bit of Mega Texas.
What other trucks are going to be out there?
So for right now, it's Where's the Food Fresno.
Okay.
WTF.
Yeah, and Premio Mayor.
Yep.
And then we're also gonna have Snow Cafe It's gonna be out there.
How's that collab gonna go?
It's still in the work, but basically it's gonna be something like a
little
peach
barbecue,
cobbler,
okay.
snow cone.
Gotcha.
We talked with them. I haven't. We're gonna finalize it this week, but I talked to them. They said, yeah, we can do it.
That's
I'm
that'll be
excited about
interesting.
that one.
And so the collaboration with El Premio, actually that kind of we talked with Bianca. It was probably like a year ago. She said, let's do a collaboration. I said, I'm down. I said,
She's always
She
thinking.
dropped a little hint last time, right?
right,
Yep.
yeah. So I said, so we it kind of just went by the wayside. And then I guess she mentioned it to Will at Tioga, and he messaged both of us on Instagram. He's like, hey, what's up with that collaboration? Can you guys do for our hop, which is a September our hop? And I'm like, what? I didn't say nothing about it because, to me, I like to keep that stuff in, like, so
Yeah.
keep it in your
Right,
back
keep it
pocket.
in-house, yeah.
And she ended up coming into the restaurant. She said, hey, I meant to tell you, I mentioned this to Will. He said, can we do it? And I said, well, let's do it then. So we went to Tioga and we were talking, and he said, Will walks up. He's like, oh, yeah, you guys can do your anniversary party here. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, do you want us to make you a beer? I'm like, what? Yes, of course. He's like, yeah, we'll do a beer for you, and we'll do a beer slushy. So they're actually gonna have a beer slushy as
Sweet.
well.
I like those beer slushies.
Oh yeah. And so for the beer,
what is in the beer?
so the beer is it's only gonna be on draft, or you can take a crowler home to go. Will came up with this idea. He said, well, instead of doing a regular crowler, he goes, let's do this 32-ounce crowler. It's going to be a mega sized beer.
Mega everything.
Right, mega. So the beer they made for us, it's actually it's a peach pandowdy wheat beer. So pandowdy is very similar to a cobbler.
Okay.
Basically, it's a really old recipe where you take the peaches, you put a crust on top, and you cook it in a cast iron skillet. And at the end of the cook, what you do is you press the crust down into the peaches, and all the sweet stuff, all the cinnamon oozes up. So this beer actually is flavored with peaches, cinnamon, vanilla, and it has a little bit of lactose in there, so it makes it really creamy. So it's almost like a scoop of the pandowdy or like a peach cobbler kind of deal.
Gotcha.
With ice cream on top.
Damn, that sounds sounds interesting.
We actually had some the other day. It's really good. And I brought that one so that way you could try it out.
So you go allow us to crack this.
I'm gonna have Troy chug this real quick.
Definitely not.
And actually,
What was the name of this?
so the name of it is Super Luminous Meganova, right?
Super luminous Meganova.
Which is it's a semi-made up name. There's a thing called a super luminous supernova, which is the explosion of a star. And basically it's up to 100 times brighter than a regular star. And so since our logo is a star,
Yeah.
and there, people always say, well, you guys are blowing up. I thought, well,
Okay.
so how about,
Was that you coming up with the name?
yeah, I came up with the name
Look at
for
that
it.
marketing.
So I want people, of course, I changed the name from Superluminous Supernova to Superluminous Meganova, to reference us and to reference the star. I think, even though we're still a small spot, we're still in a gas station, everywhere I go around town, people are saying, I heard about you, or I'm coming to see you. I just had two customers come in Saturday, and they were actually from Petaluma. They live in Petaluma now in Northern California. And they said, I used to live in Fresno. My family's been telling me about your barbecue. They said, we love barbecue, so we drove all the way down from Petaluma to come have it.
That's dope.
And they messaged me yesterday afternoon, and they said, I'm sorry to interrupt your weekend, but I just want to let you know that this is by far the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. And for me, as an older gentleman, and it's like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I'm going for every time. I don't ever say that I'm the best, because I know there's plenty of people out there who can barbecue well, but I know that every time I go and I'm cooking, I'm trying to give you the best that I have ever done. every day I'm trying to get better. I want it to be more than just something to fill your belly. I want it to be, like for us, it's about the experience. It's about coming through and maybe having something you never had. You know, those bacon wrap ribs. I actually do on Saturdays. I do a chile verde rib.
I know. I still need to come try.
No, actually that was one of the things they had. It was a chile verde rib. I do chile verde ribs. I've done some beer marinated chicken before. I have a version. I call it. You ever seen that meme that it's Modelo time?
Yeah. It's Modelo time, fool.
So right. So I actually make a Modelo chicken.
That's tight.
And it's
Man,
marinated Modelo.
That's what we should have brought here and displayed on the table so we could.
Right. I guess I could have whooped some up. You know.
No, it's all good. So how did the whole? I mean, just to get a little backstory on the upbringing, how did barbecuing come up? Like, is that something that you just been doing since a kid, or
you know,
had a passion for it?
I grew up barbecuing, and
I mean, you did touch base on. I mean, living somewhere with no AC and you know you would cook outside, and I feel like a lot of us out here would do that.
I mean, for us, it was a thing. It was more of to keep cool. You know, we would cook outside to keep cool. But it really wasn't until you know, in 2007, my wife, my family, we moved to Texas.
Just cause, or
we were working at Walmart at the time. My wife actually applied for a position, and it was a promotion. And so when you get a promotion at Walmart and it's a salaried manager, she became a salaried manager. They actually pay for your move. Okay. So they paid for our move to Texas, and I lived there for 7 years. Well, in Texas, barbecue is more than just you know, cooking out on the weekend. It's like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, people,
they take pride in their barbecue, like we do on tacos.
Texas is definitely a very proud state, and barbecue is one of the things they're super proud of. And you know, to me, the level of barbecue was just on another level. It was just something that I hadn't heard of before. You know, they do brisket in Texas, where here's tri-tip. You know, so I remember the first time I cooked a brisket in Texas, I bought one. I thought, I'm just gonna cook it just like a tri-tip, and it was horrible. It was horrible.
Different way.
Yeah. So I kind of got that was when I first got my Instagram account, and I kind of started following people. And some of the people who I knew, you know, did barbecue. So I would learn like techniques, or I would see something I like and I'd try to imitate it. And, you know, that was kind of where Instagram, that's the outlet Instagram was for me at first.
Just more reference.
Right. So the first time I ever smoked, I grew up in, I guess what I grew up doing was more grilling. Yeah. But the first time I ever smoked anything was in Texas. And
what part of Texas? If you
I lived in Garland, which is just north of Dallas, DFW area, big city. I mean, it's definitely. I loved it there. It was great weather. There's crazy weather too, because Texas does have crazy weather.
I'm originally from New Orleans, so I kind of I'm familiar with the Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Have family out there and whatnot.
So that's how the name Mega Texas came about, right?
Yeah. So
I thought you were from out there this whole time.
Likewise.
But you're actually from
the
valley, right?
Yeah, I grew up in a small town of Carruthers. That's why I lived the majority. I lived there until I was 18 years old.
That's where Troy likes going to get his corn dogs.
Hey, for sure.
Hidden gems.
Yep. Hey, the Carruthers Fair. If you ever been, man, that's a great place to go. And you get corn dogs. You get those old fair cinnamon rolls. You don't got to wait as long a line as here in Fresno. You know.
Yeah, man. And I mean, being from Carruthers, small town, so there ain't a lot of outlet to have a platform like you do out here now, right? So, but was that just still something that just barbecuing grew from natural?
It wasn't something I thought of until I said that I smoked that when I lived in Dallas or in Garland. The first time I ever smoked anything was when I lived there. I made a pork butt for my wife, and she came home. She was eating dinner, and I said, one of the things she liked is pulled pork, and so she's like, where did you buy this from? I said, I made it. And she's like,
that's a good compliment.
No, yeah. So I'm like, I said, I made it. She's like, this is really good. She's like, this is better than our favorite barbecue place. There was, you know, a chain restaurant that's called Spring Creek. And she's like, this is better than Spring Creek. I'm like, I know, right? So I had made my own barbecue sauce. I had made my own rub. Nice. I made that pork butt, and it was just kind of like what started stuff. You know, the whole time I was, was there, I really got into cooking shows. I would watch cooking shows all the time.
This is out in Texas.
In Texas, yeah. Gotcha. So the name, I think you're asking me what the name, where the name Mega. So before I moved, I've had many nicknames throughout my life, but the last name I had before I moved was Mega. And when I moved to Texas, one of my buddies said, "Oh, and so now you're Mega Texas." And
Texas
right,
life.
He was like, "Oh, I think that sticks."
Yeah, it became my gamer tag. It became my email. Actually, my email still is Mega Texas at yahoo.com. It's still
plug. Now you know how people emailing you.
Right.
Placing the orders.
For sure.
Actually,
the best way to get a hold of us.
That, do you cater weddings?
Oh yeah, we do. Actually, we just had 2 weddings this last week. It's pretty awesome.
Hustle.
Yes, those we actually closed for business because it was a big enough wedding. I mean, basically, it's more people, and you're able to basically serve more people. It was bigger than having a regular day of service.
Yeah.
So when we book those type of things, we close. So we closed this last Thursday for a wedding, and then the previous Saturday for a wedding. And it's always cool to hear those things. Right now, I think I have like 6 wedding inquiries right now, and it's from people who attended those weddings, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta have." And we just did a corporate lunch for a power plant here in town, and one of the guests, they came up to us. They said, "Man, this is wedding caliber food."
Gotcha.
And they said, "Oh yeah, we're catering a wedding tomorrow." So then of course they took our card. It's pretty. It's always good to hear.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to just spread the name and.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I know you had some people that you grew up on or started watching, or got your food style from, or like just maybe like little bits of it. Is there anybody
like an inspiring?
There's definitely. I mean, there's so many people who are aspiring. Like a lot of people on Instagram. I follow some people on Instagram. A lot of local people. Some people in Texas. People. It's one of them is Tony Tone on Instagram at Tony Tone. I actually was fortunate enough to meet him. He lives in Beaumont, Texas, just outside of Houston. And we actually took a cross country trip. Not this last summer, the previous one. I happened to message him. He's like, "Hey, let's say what's up." So he's actually right now coming up. Has his own catering business, and he just did a pop up this last year. It's a C.U.D.I.E barbecue Tex-Mex block party, and he was on another podcast recently, and they were just talking about how he was one of the standouts, even though he was an up-and-comer. He was one of the standouts of the thing. One of the guys up north here, Bacon Raider. A lot of people who barbecue have heard of this guy. Bacon Raider, he makes a lot of bacon wrap stuff, a lot of inspiration for some of the stuff I do. Matt Horn, he's about to open a place, Horn Barbecue in Oakland. Okay. He's one of the top upcoming chefs in the country right now. And he's actually from Fresno. He came to our grand opening, and I've been fortunate to talk with him many times. And him being he's been on a Thrill List, Eater San Francisco, and he actually sat down with me and he said, "Man," he goes, "keep doing what you're doing, keep grinding, because you definitely, what you're doing is legit." And for somebody of that stature to tell you something like that, it's definitely it just it's it makes you feel like you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing. Definitely. Let me see. I'm gonna say some people. Local barbecue here as well. Barbecue Queen.
Oh yeah.
If y'all had her food,
no, we definitely had her.
She could definitely throw down. Tri-tip, ribs. I mean, she does a lot of stuff. One of my buddies, Belly Rub Barbecue. That's his Instagram. His name is Jolan Chin. He does barbecue kind of like on the side. At one point in time, he did KCBS, but I talked with him many occasions about barbecue and like what I wanted to do, and he's like, definitely, go for it and do what you do. Actually, he works. he has his own business. He's like an engineer.
Gotcha.
But he's doing something with the city. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he actually asked me he wants me to cater in here in March for they're going to redo the Discovery Center, the Fresno Discovery Center. And he said, we want to have you come
out in
cater,
there.
you know.
That's dope.
You know, the Meat Hustler Nation, there's a shirt, and it's really popular in the barbecue world. It says Meat Hustler. And basically, you know, to me, that's what I do. I go
You're a
out.
meat hustler?
Yeah, meat hustler.
A
So
meat dealer.
yes, for sure. So they definitely have supported me. They posted me on their page wearing their merchandise.
That's dope. Speaking of merch, what's up with this shirt right here?
Oh yeah, this is one of our new shirts we
Are
have.
you guys selling these?
We are selling these.
Nice.
This is a Roski Doski design right here.
Shout out Roski Doski.
Oh,
man.
for
That's
sure.
our man.
Roski Doski.
He always comes, you know.
He comes out
right,
with the logo
for sure.
flips.
Yeah, this logo flip is you know, a lot of people grew up listening to Wu-Tang. That's especially my area, you know.
Yeah.
And so, well, I always saw that W, if you flip it upside down, it's an M.
Yeah.
So we kind of did the logo flip, Mega Texas, and a little play on the Killer Bees, right? This is the Killer BBQ.
BBQ.
So
See what y'all did there?
right. We have this. We have our original logo shirt, the Mega Texas with the star. In
You
the
guys
middle.
bring them out to every pop-up event?
You know, we just got these. We're gonna have them at the anniversary.
Sweet.
But right now, if you want, you can come and get them in the store. We have people coming in the store to buy them, so that way they can wear them for the anniversary.
And
Like, we
Makes
definitely.
sense.
Looking at this T-shirt made me think of Sam's event, or the FTK event, the Hella Ninja.
Oh
they,
yeah,
they do a lot of ninja Wu-Tang
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Like, is that something that you would
definitely.
come up with something clever for that?
for me, definitely for
what would
sure.
come to mind with that? Like,
Oh.
what comes to mind? Like
Something Hella Ninja. Well, okay, so one of the things.
like Hella Mega Ninja.
Well, are you talking about as far as food?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. What item would you?
Well,
Bring to
okay,
the
so
table.
I haven't talked with anybody about it, but something that I want to do is I want to do a collaboration with somebody who does noodles,
Okay.
and maybe do like a Mega Texas style ramen where we take either the brisket, because a lot of times you have ramen, you have brisket in there,
Yeah.
but it's usually just roasted in the oven. I think if you take it to a different level, you have a smoked brisket. And one thing that we don't serve at the restaurant is sliced right now.
Yeah.
So you would actually get a slice of smoked brisket with the ramen, or I do a smoked pork belly as well.
Just throw it on the
Oh
noodles.
yeah, some pork belly, or
Man, let's
even
throw that. Let's put that in the universe. I feel like.
oh
that would-
yeah,
that'd
even
be dope.
one thing that you see in the ramen is it's called a porcini, where they take a pork belly and they roll it around a pork loin,
Yeah.
and then they slice it. It looks like that wheel, the pork.
Gotcha.
And so that's something that I want to would like to do.
That'd be
and-
dope. And we documented this thing that's dated. So if someone out there
Oh
takes it
yeah.
after
Well,
they
you know, I
listen
tell
to
you, sometimes some of my ideas are not original. When I see something,
inspired.
it's definitely inspired. Like those chicken lollipops that I make. One of the first person I ever saw do a bacon wrap or do a chicken lollipop was Diva Q. She's a
Diva Q?
Diva Q. She actually is a barbecuer. She's from Canada. But she used to have a show called Barbecue Crawl, and
Okay.
she's a competitive barbecuer. She's actually a spokesperson for Traeger Grills now. She actually would go around the country and she would compete in all these different barbecue competitions.
Gotcha.
And on one episode, she made a chicken lollipop, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
very
I
cool.
like that. So another buddy of
And
mine.
you have a sticker out here with the
Oh
the
yeah,
lollipop, right?
chicken lollipops. That's actually that was the first thing we were known for, those chicken lollipops. And well, the first time I ever saw a bacon wrapped one, a guy I follow on Instagram is at Los Mexicutioners Barbecue.
Okay.
He's out of Hollister. His name Carlos, a great guy, definitely inspiring. I seen him make these bacon wrapped chicken lollipops. I'm like, okay, now I got to do these. Now I got to make these.
Yeah.
And so I made them myself, and they were pretty good. But I'm like, I think I can tweak these. I can make them better.
Do your own style to it.
Yeah, so I mean, we've kind of done different. I mean, I actually have a version of these that I made last year for my birthday. It was like a Karate Kid theme.
So that might take
Like
it back to
some
Hella
rocks off.
Ninja.
Right. So
That might work for the
right.
Ninja
So
thing.
I actually make a teriyaki version of the bacon wrapped chicken lollipop. And so it was. That's so something that also could work.
Yeah, man. Let's we definitely have to get you on the Hella Ninja event.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
some of these
We,
items. I'm
well-
definitely looking forward to the noodle one.
The collaboration with Where's the Food, we're actually doing a brisket and mac and cheese egg roll.
Yeah.
And people saw that and people were going nuts for it.
You guys
And
have images of it already?
yeah, there's an image on our Instagram already.
Just
and-
make sure I have somewhere I can take a nap at after.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I eat
That's
all this
like,
food.
He's over here
That's-
yawning already.
Hey,
during the
that's what we-
episode. Just sticking to the food. Nah, man, this is dope. And once again, let's give the people the date and time and location for the 1-year anniversary of your guys'.
So anniversary event is going to be November 2nd.
It's a Saturday.
Downtown Fresno at the Tioga Sequoia Beer Garden. Of course, we're going to have a little bit of food out there. And what we're thinking about doing is kind of like a greatest hits menu. So things that you've seen before that maybe you haven't had before. We're probably going to do some bacon wrapped ribs, chicken lollipops. We do a regular ribs. And then we might, well.
Are you guys bringing back the collab with, obviously, right? The collab with Premio.
The collab with
queso.
Premio Mayor is going to be out
taco.
there with a green queso taco. It's a
Fire.
Yeah, a thing. Collaboration with Where's the Food. I guess I could say it now. This comes out on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
So
Everything,
we're probably gonna have
Mega
photo.
Texas.
We're gonna. They're actually gonna do a pork belly fried rice.
Sweet.
With Where's the Food. So yeah, it's like I said, we're doing the thing with Snow Cafe. DJ Roski's gonna be out
Shout
there
out Roski.
spinning. Roski Doski gonna be out there. The artist for the beer label right here is Hector Hinojosa.
Okay.
He just actually designed the label for this. It's pretty. I kind of gave him my idea what to go with,
Made
and
it
he just.
happen.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
really awesome.
That's dope. So yeah, man, y'all get your stomachs ready. Be out there and be out there to support, man. And do
Appreciate
you have
it.
any last words?
You
out there?
know, one thing I always think about, I'm always thinking about is, how hard I work, and, people say, find something in life that you love, and do that job, and you'll never work a day
Yeah.
in your life. And the crazy thing is, I don't think I've ever loved doing anything as much as I love what I do right now. And this is the hardest I've probably ever worked in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to.
I think when you're passionate about things, it's not that it's not hard, but it's so much easier to get up and do that job, to do what you want to do. And for me, it's more than just about making me happy. It's about making other people happy, and
You got your
going out
name
and doing
behind
that.
it, man. So
That's
yeah.
when you know you got something good.
For
Got you
sure, for
going.
sure.
That's dope, man. So we always end up the episode with a quote of the day, and I mean, I know you're familiar with it, so we'll give you a quote, and you just, whoever comes to mind, feel free to throw it out there.
For sure. Because every time we stand up for ourselves, we stand up for someone else too.
Who said that?
Man, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this one. Let's see. Every time we stand up for ourselves, we stand up for someone else too. I wish I could say.
It's all good. I got a quote for you. We go.
So that quote was submitted, but we had to throw that.
No, we're gonna do a quote that
goes with theme.
Yeah.
Oh, this is there's no sincere love than the love of food. I definitely think that's true. I don't know. I'm not sure who said
You gotta
that.
throw somebody out there.
Oh, maybe Julia Child.
Okay.
Julia Child. She's definitely a cook. I've been inspired by her as well. I think you can't show when you're cooking for somebody, you put your heart in it and you show love. And for me, definitely everything I cook, I put my heart into it. I do all the meat. My wife, she does all the sides. We put our heart into it. We want to make sure that you're coming and not just enjoying yourself as far as food wise, but you're having a good experience. The biggest compliment that we can have is that they enjoyed us and what we gave to them. And food is the ultimate way to I mean,
That's the way to
like
someone's
I said,
heart.
Yep,
Yeah.
To the
for
belly.
Sure. Yep.
And
for
I'm
sure.
gonna go on the limb and say thank you to you, Anthony, and your wife Tasha. She couldn't be here.
Yes.
But thank you guys for embracing the podcast and joining.
And once again, shout out Tioga for donating today's drinks and for dropping the collab with Mega Texas. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to see where you guys go as well,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
it's been great watching you.
Sweet.
Definitely appreciate it. So this Saturday, November 2nd, what time does the event start?
It starts at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. So get there at 4:30.
Oh, yeah.
Get in line.
Yeah.
I'll be there, making sure I'm getting all of the amazing food that he just mentioned.
Sure, man. Make your way out to the downtown Tioga Sequoia Brewery, and we'll be out there.
We'll see you there. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the Saber Podcast. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Come hungry.